Janapathy e-column, Asoka Jayatunga, President Ranil's longtime news planter, writes the weekly Janapathy e-column under the pen name Washington Wolf from Washington, D.C. Headlines this week are: Lenawa goes to court to throw mud at the fox. Who is Lenawa? Whose bogey is he? Fox, busman and his good and bad questions. Fox to correct 19A slip-up. Matara rally happens amid threats against attending. Mahinda Sulanga blew from Nugagoda. Ranil Sulanga blew from Matara. In economic bonkers, NPP queries $41 billion USD loan, promises banks giving loans without guarantor or interest. NPP's AKD and Handun get shamed, and Harini follows trying to cover them up. Latest decision on Ranil's house set on fire. How the country gets 20% of loans written off. The column goes as: the presidential election heat is worse than the heat of the sun. One called Lenawa has moved a petition seeking an order against holding the election until a decision is made if the president's term is 5 or 6 years. The entire country thought him to be a bogey of the cunning fox. It deepened with Range's feeler that elections should be put off for several years to give Ranil time to revive the country. Since that failed, the fox is not so foolish as to send another feeler, some said. Then, out came the truth. Details about Lenawa, his political and other backgrounds, the party of which he is a national list member, who from the opposition got him to petition and shame, the fox are getting proven from telephone call and GPS device data. The fox issued an official statement that he is prepared for the election and that courts would be informed of his stand through the Attorney General. Up next is about the Matara rally. The series of rallies by the fox to tell the people how he put off the country's fire in 2 years began from Matara. Although the SLPP warned them against attending, its strongmen went to Matara. Kanchana and Sagala worked very hard for that. The fox arrived in Matara after having distributed deeds in Welawaya. He lunched at Kanchana's Weligama home. Kanchana thanked all those who were present to thank Ranil for reviving the country, despite threats by the SLPP, and raising both hands, asked from the audience if who else should be the SLPP candidate other than Ranil. The next speaker was Mahindananda. He suggested the boss speaks next because the people were getting roasted in the sun. About the post-rally talk, the column refers to what happened during tea at the rest house. Ali Sabri said to general laughter that Mahinda Sulanga blew from Nugagoda, while Ranil Sulanga blew from Matara. Manusha asked Sabri and Dr. Ramesh to be at the Kandy rally too. They promptly agreed. Prasanna went missing during tea. Mahindananda said he had left for the SLPP rally in Mirigama. On Monday, Ranil met his political cabinet and its media committee before attending the cabinet and government parliamentary group meetings. He said a mistake in the 19th Amendment needs to be corrected. A reduction of the president's term to 5 years was adopted, but the 6-year term clause has not been annulled, he said. The cabinet approved that the president's term is 5 years. On the following day, he was in Parliament to make a speech after coming under pressure to go for a debate on debt restructuring, only after signing the agreement with private creditors too. He said, "A supporter of Anura said on Facebook that the $71 billion debt when I took over has now risen to $100 billion. How can I borrow for a country that is not given credit? Are you telling me to break into the Bank of England? That liar must have experience in breaking into banks. Those who think horribly of seeing the child fall down from the Vine Bridge should change their line of thinking," he said. He also countered Sajith's good or bad questions. Aswasuma and 10 kilos of rice are given against the bad malnutrition. Investments are brought, factories are opened, and jobs are given because joblessness is bad. 2 million land deeds and 250,000 houses were given because poverty is bad. What I am asking is whether it is good or bad to have rejected the premiership and fled when the economy was down and people were famishing in queues, he asked. During chit-chat at the political office, one MP said the top diplomat of a powerful country was surprised when the SJB said debt restructuring was bad. Colombo zonal organiser positions were given to educated people. Questions were raised about giving it to a person who got beaten up during Aragalaya. Range the preacher said it was not wrong to get those who have gone astray on the correct path. The boss does what Buddha did, he said. The president then went to pay last respects to Sampanthan. At a meeting of Gampaha district organisers at Sidua, the same question was asked. The fox replied that a particular fruit has a particular taste. A fruit salad has various tastes. Ranil now frequents the election office down Flower Road. A visibly angry Wajira said those who were behind the petition are blaming it on us. The fox noted that he issued a statement saying he will support the commission to hold the election. Also, Rs 8 billion had been allotted for the election. My stand is, the term is 5 years, he said. Ashu interjected that Maithri and Jayampathi brought in the 19A. Ranil didn't interfere. But the work had been done with a slip-up. The term was reduced to 5 years, but the clause on 6 years was not annulled. Once it is adopted by the cabinet and by an act, the mud throwers will lose their clothing, he said. The petitioner is a national list member in the party of SJB's Palawata, said Manusha. An MP inquired about the opposition claim that debt has been restructured only and not written off. The president answered that the country saves Rs 5,000 million by that. A Rs 3 billion is also there. Then there will be a 20% debt writing off too. Debt repayment begins after 4 years, he said. Shehan said amid laughter that the NPP's Anura and Handanetti got shamed all along. Harini, who tries to justify them too, got shamed, he said. He went on, saying that they ask if $41 billion is a debt. Anura himself says the annual income is only $1.5 billion, even if every expatriate sends in $500 a month. Also, they speak of a bank that gives loans to the people without a guarantor and without interest. Are there any such banks? NPP leaders must have lost their heads, he said. Information Director Dinith suggested telling the people about the condition of the president's home that was burnt 2 years ago. Ranil, who dislikes giving prominence to things personal, just nodded. That ends the column. It is now obvious that attacks on the SJB as well as the JVP-led NPP are now taking place.
The Leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම